I welcome you back again in our practical session. Myself, Sujata Bidve, and I am working as Assistant Professor in Department of Botany, KTHM College, Nasi. Students, we have started with practical session of bamboo propagation and management. In this lecture, we are going to see the study of propagation methods of bamboo, and specifically in this lecture, we are going to concentrate on the vegetative propagation. In last time, we have already seen there are 4 to 5 different methods of propagation of bamboo, and today we are going to concentrate on the vegetative propagation. Now, as we have already earlier discussed that bamboo is referred as green gold for the 21st century because it can be used for the production of number of different households, then we can appliances which can be a reusable, it can be act as a renewable sources of energy, and therefore proper method should be investigated for the cultivation of bamboo. So this bamboo, when we talk about the botany of bamboo, very specifically stem is having presence of two different part, that is nodes and internodes. And in this method, in the vegetative propagation method, we are going to focus on the use of these nodes and internodes for the production of more and more offsprings of the bamboo for the cultivation of bamboo. Now, in diagram, we can see there at the nodal section, there is emergence of new birds from the nodal part, and therefore these nodal parts and internodal parts were taken into consideration for the vegetative propagation of bamboo. Last time we have already enlisted the different types of propagation methods of bamboo, that is propagation from the seed that we have already studied, then use of fiddling we have already studied, and use of offset. In today's practical, we are going to focus on the vegetative propagation methods in the bamboo. Now, when we talk about the vegetative propagation in bamboo, generally it is carried out by means of offsets or clump cutting. Now, as earlier discussion, we have already discussed about the offset. Offset is a small bamboo plant which is having presence of separated rhizome as well as small stem, and which is growing in aerial portion, and it can be cut from the mother plant and it can be sown independently to get the new plantlet. And the next one is clump cutting. Clump cutting is generally superior for all type of exotic species in warmer climatic condition. And if there is absence of warmer conditions, means in the cooler area, in cooler region, such a propagation can be achieved by using greenhouse. And if greenhouse is also not available at that time, we can locally assemble a small tunnel like structure, and we are going to cover that tunnel like structure with the polythene bag or polythene like material, which is going to create a warmer condition. And simply, so by using simple clump cutting also, we will also get a n number of plantlets of the bamboo. So in this session, we'll see how this more and more number of bamboo can be produced by using clump cutting. Clump again, clump, it is nothing but a small portion of stem which is having presence of one or two nodes. Now, when we talk about the clump cutting, in many species, it is preferable type of method, and it is very faster method as compared to offset and even by use of seeds. Now we have already seen there is some limitation of propagation by using seeds, because as the flowering is once in a life, then the number of seeds were also restricted for the specific time period, for the specific phase, and therefore we can't produce number of plant by using seeds also. And again there is dormancy problem also. and there is viability problem also. And when we talk about the offset, again number of offset produced towards the mother plant were again very less, and therefore it is also having some restriction. So as compared to offset and seedling type of propagation, the clump cutting is very important and faster and easy method of propagation of bamboo plant. Now generally in rural area or in common practices, offset cutting or by using offset, the propagation is very common. But it requires extreme labor, extreme skill, and it is very time consuming type of process. So on the contrary, clump cutting is, as compared to offset, it is a easier method, and so that we can easily practice that method in nurseries also. Now we'll see step by step procedure of clump cutting and how we will get a more number of plant by using clump cutting. Now in case of this clump cutting type of method, initially we have to select a small portion of stem which is having presence of at least 2 to 3 nodes. But for the selection of this stem, we have to remember something, or we have to apply some criteria for the selection of this small part of stem. Now for the selection, we have to ensure that that stem part should have presence of dormant buds from all the nodes which are present, or the part of stem which we have taken should has a presence of dormant bud, so that the new plantlet can be arise from that bud. And very importantly, we have to select a proper age clump. The clump should not be so smaller and the clump should not be so older. If we select so young stem, then there is possibility of rotting of that clump due to presence of soft tissue. And if we take a very old clump, then there is presence of hard type of tissue, and therefore there is very less chances of getting shoot and root immediately or soon. And therefore at the time of selection of clump, we have to remember that age of clump should be 2 to 3 years. Now after selecting a clump of proper age, we have to prepare a double or triple node type of cutting. Okay, so initially we have to select a proper clump, then we have to select that portion of the clump having presence of 2 to 3 nodes, and then we have to cut that nodal portion with a sharp tool. We can use sharp blades, or then we can use the scissors or the special type of cutters in order to cut the stem of bamboos. Okay, this stem of bamboo were quite harder at the 2 to 3 years age, and therefore we required some very sharp tool. Now after taking that sharp tool cutting, we have to take that stem section and we have to put that stem section horizontally on the nursery bed. Now remember, we have to take one very important precaution before sowing that stem cut or before burying that stem portion within the soil. The bud should be face towards the sun. It should not be towards the earth. The bud should be in the upward direction, so that there is place for the growth of new bud. In this diagram, we can see that there we have already see we can see you can see there small section of the stem which is having presence of nodes and internodes. In this diagram, you will also see that there is presence of some arising structure from the node, from the nodal region, and that arising structures were nothing but the buds. So you can see here the cut part of the stem were kept in horizontal position. They are apart from each other with specific distance, and the birds were facing towards the sun. This is a appropriate procedure for the clump propagation. Now after keeping this stem clump on the bed, we have to wait for the 2 to 3 months. We'll get a very good type of plantlet within this 2 to 3 months. This time duration is varying from species to species, and this phenomenon of arising small plantlet, it is referred, or the time is referred as duration from layering to splitting. Okay, splitting is a stage when there is arising of root and shoot. When we talk about this duration from layering to splitting, it is varying from 2 months to 4 months. It is different for different species. Under ideal condition and in sustained warm conditions with adequate supply of water, the exotic species shoot and root immediately or radially. In case of Dendroclamus and Bambusa species, will get a good type of or good response to splitting within short period only. Generally, the double note clump cutting is preferred for the propagation of bamboo. Now, you can see in picture, these are the shoots of bamboo with dormant buds, and it can be used for the propagation of bamboo. Now, and in the same procedure, in the same method, means before applying that clump horizontally on the nursery bed, we can treat that clump of bamboo for certain treatments, and these certain treatments were resulting into earlier rooting and sprouting. There are some hormonal treatment which are going to enhance the rate of rooting and shooting, and for this purpose we have to take a clump of the specific site. We have to always remember one thing, that clump or the stem part should be cut slantly from the both sides. Now in diagram you can see there is presence of nodes and internodes. At the internodal region, we have to prepare one small hole with a dimension of 2 by 1 centimeter. You can see here it is a clump of bamboo. You can see here there is presence of, these are the nodes, and the distance between two nodes is internode. Now I have selected this bamboo clump of 2 to 3 years. Now you can see here there is presence of small dormant buds at the nodal region. Now between this region, here we are going to make a small hole, and within this hole we are going to put our hormones. Now within this hole we are going to put some hormones. In case of bamboo, here we are going to use NAA in order to promote the rooting and shooting. In order to prepare this NAA, we have to take a 10 gram of NAA, and we are going to dissolve that NAA in 250 ml of ethyl alcohol. Now here we are taking ethyl alcohol which is 95% in his gradient. Now after preparing 250 ml, we are going to convert that 250 ml to 100 liters. Okay, means we have to increase the volume from 250 ml to 100 ml, 100 liters, and therefore the resulting stock, the resulting solution of NAA is 100 mg per liter of the water. So what we have did here, we have taken a 10 gram of NAA. Simply we have dissolving that NAA in 250 ml of ethyl alcohol which is 95%, and then we are going to make a final volume of 100 liters, and the final concentration of this stock is 100 mg per liter of water. Now out of from this 100 liters of the NAA, we are taking 100 ml of 10 mg per liter of NAA. Now we are going to pour that NAA within the hole. Just now I had told you, initially we are going to prepare a hole bit at the internodal region, and within that hole we are going to put the 100 ml of NAA. Now we have prepared a small hole at the internodal section. You can see here I have prepared a small hole that is 2 by 1 centimeter at the internodal portion, and now we are going to put a NaA. I have prepared NaA stock of 100 mg per liter, and now we are going to place this stock or this hormone within the cavity which we have prepared, and then we are going to keep it as it is, and then we are going to proceed for the next steps. After pouring this 100 ml of NaA, we are going to close that hole by wrapping with polythene strip. Now you can see here at the internodal portion, I have prepared one hole. Within that hole, I have placed NaA near about 100 ml, and now we are going to seal this hole by means of polythene wrap very tightly. Okay, we are going to wrap it this with the polythene bag, and then we are going to tie it with the thread, or we can place it as it is within the nursery bed horizontally. The bud which are coming from the nodal region should be facing towards the sun, and we are going to place such a the clump in this way only directly within the nursery bed. And after wrapping that, we are going to put within the nursery bed horizontally, and we are going to wait for the some period. Now within some days we will get a good shooting and rooting, which leads to formation of new seedlings of the or new plantlets of the bamboo. So in today's lecture, we have already seen the vegetative propagation in bamboo. What are the important steps in the vegetative propagation? Mainly by using clump cutting, how we are going to properly select the proper age clump of the bamboo. Then we have seen what can be did in order to enhance the rate of rooting and shooting in the stem of bamboo. Okay. In next lecture, we will see the what are the products of bamboo and economical importance of the bamboo. Okay, thank you. If you have any query, you can ask me on our Google Classroom, or you can catch me at my mail ID suchetabidve@kthmcollege.ac.in.